What's up YouTube, Winterguard here. Today we're going to be doing another monster level 85 area known as the Ancient Tunnels. This is an Act 2 Lost City area, and what we'll be doing, I'm going to go over the gear real quick that I'm running right now. We'll do a sample run into the area, and then we'll show you the drops that I got. Real quick, the monster level 85 areas, which I've mentioned before in the pits video, is where you will find the TC-87, which is the highest treasure class that's in the game. Some of the rarest items, some would say some of the best items in the game, such as Griffin's Eye, Crown of Ages, that sort of thing. There's quite a few items in the TC-87 class that are sought after. The rest are what would be considered grail items. People just look for them because they're extremely rare. Not necessarily that great or even best in slot for whatever class, but just really rare items that people that have pretty much found everything, they're looking for those last few items to kind of finish off every item in the game. So they farm the monster level 85 areas looking for these items. Ancient Tunnels being one of them. Not one of my favorite areas. I prefer the pits over Ancient Tunnels, and we'll get into why. It is one of the easier areas to farm just because there are no cold immunes if you're a sorceress in there. There's 4 monster types that spawn there, and none of them are cold immune. That's not to say that some of the boss packs, one of the bosses might not spawn cold immune, but the mobs in general will not be. So for a cold mage, it's an easy area to farm. It's smaller. It's easy to get through the packs. There's somewhere between 6 to 8 packs total, and there's one gold chest which you can pop that chance of runes, that sort of thing. But I'm going to do a sample run and just show you how to get there if you've not done it before, and just a real quick clear, because it's small. Like I said, it's a small area. If you like what I'm doing, give me a subscribe, like, comment. I try to respond to everybody. And so let's get into the gear real quick. I have one change that I have made. It's not a found item. I made a Hodo. For those that don't know, that's Heart of the Oak rune word. It's I decided to go that direction versus Oculus. Magic Find is nice, but clear speed is probably more important. So as you can see, this is a +3 skills item with 40 cast rate, which is really nice. Also on top of that, it's 40 all resist and some replenish life, some dex. It's just a really nice item in general. It's somewhat expensive because it has Vex and a pull in it, but those runes were self-found by me. I had 3 goals, so I cubed 2 of Vex, and I had a couple pull runes, so I made this myself. I put it into a 13-2 superior flail. Doesn't make a difference since it's caster weapon, but I just did it for cool factor. You'll see that there's 13 ED and +2 attack rating on it, but that doesn't do anything for damage for spell casting, but just to be a little different. So anyways, everything else I'm still running the 3 Topaz helm, spirit shield, still got stealth, +1 ammi, 37 chances, which are nice, FCR ring, the racks, and a 19 Nagel, which I haven't found better actually, and some sandstorm treks. I got a 36 Geeds, and then some randoms, some smaller skillers as far as Magic Find. So if you look, my Magic Find now is at 192. We're getting close to the minimum. I'm trying to shoot between 200 and 250. That's why the Oculus is not that important. I'd prefer the Shaco, which would give me, if you P-Topaz it, that's be 2 more than what I'm with. The 3 socketed helm gives me 72. A P-Topaz plus 50 in the Shaco will give me 74. So plus all the stats that come on the Shaco, that'll be a nice upgrade. But the Oculus not that important with us running the Hodo now. So let's see, mercenary gear, still the same. Tau helm, fortitude armor, and cryptic axe insight, which is not ethereal, so it's not huge damage, but it does the job. So for ancient tunnels, you want to go Act 2, Lost City, and basically it's just a trap door in the area. I haven't found any pattern to finding it. I usually do a circle around the portal. Okay, and it is. A lot of times it'll be kind of close to the portal. So as you can see here, there's the waypoint, not portal. And so I do kind of a circle around the waypoint first to see if it spawns close. If not, then you got to just branch out and search for it. But that's Ancient Tunnels. It's one level. And like I said, it's not that small. And again, all these they're not cold immune, so the only time you'll run into it is with a specific boss that just happens to spawn the cold immune modifier. But I just hunt around. There's usually several boss packs that you're looking for. See, here's one here. The Marauders are probably the easiest ones, just because their size. Blizzard tends to hit them easier than some of these smaller ones. Then you'll get the horror mages, which are casting lightning bolt. And then there's two different zombie types. One being the embalmer, which does the poison gas cloud after it dies. I'm sure you guys are aware of. Another one's just meleeer, which will poison you if it hits. But I mean, it's a pretty straightforward area, and again, it's not that big. You just want to hunt around for the boss enchant packs, and burn those down, and then shoot for the chest. See, these are plague bearers. They only poison you if they hit you, and the other one is the embalmer, which might not necessarily spawn. It's random each time which monsters spawn in the dungeon. It'll be I think usually 3 of the 4 types that can spawn here will spawn at any given time. So that. All right, and here's the chest. Looks like we got maybe 1 or 2 more packs left. Yep, that's it. See, already done. Not my favorite area just because there's not as many monster packs. I prefer the pits if I'm going to do this kind of farming. If you're gearing up, I would probably do boss runs. If you want to change things up a little bit, maybe just to break the monotony of grinding in the same place, you might want to run Ancient Tunnels. Again, not one of my favorites, and as you'll see, not a ton of drops. You will get, like, again, each pack will have a chance to drop from the TC87 treasure class table. And actually, I'll put a link here for, it'll be up here somewhere, for the wiki that shows you the different TC classes or treasure classes. It's kind of interesting to look at, and as you can see, there are some of the best in slots that will drop out of this particular class. Mainly Griffin's Eye, which is best in slot for Lightning Mages and Lightning Fury Zons. It's kind of what I'm wanting. I want to eventually move to Lightning. I get bored with cold. Lightning's just a lot more fun. But the Griffins is kind of necessary, in my opinion, just because you can use it. It has a reduction in monster immunity to lightning, so you can break immunities with that particular helm. You probably need the mercenary to have infinity as well, so it's kind of an expensive upgrade to run lightning effectively. That's why you'll see majority of people running cold. Fire is probably actually second as far as people running, because of it's not as expensive to run. Lightning is the most expensive, but to me the most fun, so that's where I'm going to head for. But that's kind of it in a nutshell. Ancient Tunnels, we did get a few drops. I did get 1 item from the TC87 table that you'll see, and we'll go ahead and get into those runs real quick and then just do a short recap at the end. let's get into it.
Okay, we're into run 14 here, and this is going to be the first drop of any note on the Ancient Tunnels, and you see it's a unique Lich Wand. This is a Bone Shade, which is not a TC-87 class item, but it's fairly rare. You don't see these very often. Not necessarily a great item, but maybe good for a Bone Spear Necro. Okay, we're in run 19. Just going through clearing, and we'll get a my only rune drop for the 100 runs, and is pick up this rune. Kind of mid tier. I mean, are always useful, so not a bad drop. Okay, this is run 23, and we're just getting into the instance. And this is actually the first boss pack that we run into, and we'll get the set winged helm, which is Jalami's face. I think I'm saying that right. But anyways, most people call it a G face. And this is probably best in slot for multiple builds with the Deadly Strike and Crushing Blow. It's also a great mercenary helmet. So nice drop right out of the gate. Okay, still same run. This is run 23 where we found the G face, and then we'll get a unique cask, which is actually the Steel Skull. This is actually also a fairly useful helmet. It's got Magic Find on it, which is always nice, but it's kind of built more for melee or boson or something. You can also put that on your mercenary if you don't have a helmet, but that's actually a pretty decent drop. So two nice helmets in the same run. Okay, we're up to run 41, and we'll get the only drop that falls from the TC-87 class here. This is off another monster pack, and you'll see we get the set Scissor Sway, which is the Gnat's weapon. Not necessarily a useful item, it's kind of a neat drop. These are not that common as they drop from the TC-87 class. Not necessarily even then that useful, but still cool drop. Okay, we're up to run 57 and making our way through again. So we get a Grand Charm drop here, I think off the next pack. Yeah. And we'll get a Grand Charm drop. And we'll get first skiller of the runs. It's just a plain Jav skiller. But that's my second Jav skiller that I've found, so I think it's trying to tell me something. Okay, and we're up to run 99, so a huge long streak of no drops. Actually went 40, 50-ish runs without anything, and we'll get one last skiller. This is Barb Combat with a little bit of life, so decent Grand Charm. I think these are sought after Frenzy Barbs, Whirlwind Barbs, so at least we finished off in decent fashion.
Okay, and now let's do a quick recap on gear. As you guys noticed, it's we can all get into those dry spells where just don't get a whole lot of drops. I probably went 40-ish plus runs without a drop, so I mean it happens to everybody. Again, with my Magic Find right at about 192, I'm getting up there. It can be better, so I'll probably be farming some bosses just to gear up. I probably head to Diablo runs next, just to see if we can upgrade and get a Shaco. I like running Chaos Sanctuary in general. I think it's a fun run. It takes a little longer because you got to clear all the portal bosses and then kill Diablo, but it's usually well worth it. Diablo is a lot of fun to run, so we'll probably head there next. Just a quick recap on what we found in Ancient Tunnels. As you can see, not a lot. The Bone Shade's kind of a neat drop. You don't see that one very often. That is not a TC-87 drop. That's actually one of the lower ones. It's just kind of a rare drop that I think you won't see that one a ton. If you want to go Bone Spear, this is actually a decent wand to run, but it doesn't have a lot of everything else. You might want a little bit of resist, some FCRs. Well, I take that back. It's got FCR, but it's decent. I think you could probably do better with the White Wand Rune Word if you could find a +3 Bone Spear base, but this one's still pretty decent. We got the G-Face. That is actually a great item to as a drop because of the crushing blow. It's good on a mercenary. It's great on meleeer. This is a great Zealer helm. I'm sure some barbs can find use for that as well. But this is a great item. The Steel Skull. It's a great magic find helm for Zons, I personally think. You can also put it on your mercenary. It's got IES and dual life leech, which, mercenary not going to take advantage of the mana leech, but the 5% life stolen is nice with the 42% the magic find on top of that. So this is a good all around helm and useful. This is the TC-87. The Scissor Swaya is actually from that treasure class, so you won't see this a ton out of the Nat set. That's probably the hardest item to get. I don't think it's very useful. I don't know that the Nat set is useful just in general for assassins. I don't see that many running that full set, but it's kind of a neat find. I didn't show this one. This is actually just a Hellslayer. I picked that up just in case my dad wanted to use it if he rolled a Barbarian, just to play around with. It's just kind of a neat axe. I have two skillers, another Jav skiller, which that's the second one I found, so might be the next class I roll. The Barb combat skills, I think that's okay. I don't think that's a real sought after Barb charm. I could be wrong. It's got a little life on it as well, so that's nice. And the rune, which I showed. I also got a couple of neat ethereal bases that I'm going to just sock away. I tend to become kind of a pack rat for bases, but these are both 4-socket ethereal, so I will hang on to those. Could potentially trade them at some point. But that's pretty much it. Again, I'll probably be heading into Bale runs, or not Bale, but Diablo runs next. Clearing Chaos, Sanctuary, and Diablo kill. That takes a little bit of time. It's not a fast run having to kill all the portal bosses, but it's a fun one for me. I enjoy running Diablo, and usually I get some pretty nice finds off of that. So that'll probably be next. So we're going to wrap it up here. You guys have a great day. Keep on farming.